Yeah, this is in a magazine. I think it's printed in Melbourne called Big Rigs. It's been around forever. Dangerous goods allowed on bypass question. You know, they're debating on this new Coffs Harbour bypass. It's a $1.8 billion job, under a kilometre. They're debating about whether to let the dangerous goods, what they call placarded loads, travel through the tunnel. In a written statement, TF New South Wales has asked it is working with relevant authorities and industry groups to develop a statewide policy on how to best accommodate dangerous goods on the road network in the future. So what they're saying is if those dangerous goods can't go through the tunnel because it's too dangerous, they're going to be still going through Coffs Harbour, which isn't great for people's health or potential for explosion or something in the town. So which is worse? I mean, either way it doesn't seem ideal, does it? With completion of the bypass, dangerous good vehicles will still need to access Coffs Harbour as a major regional centre and destination for dangerous good vehicles, which provide essential service to the area. Is all a spokesman will concede on the issue. That's not entirely true. Some dangerous goods vehicles just need to pass through the area. They don't necessarily need to stop there. Big rigs understand that the movement of dangerous goods above critical thresholds is regulated by the EPA, but all we could ascertain from that body when we asked was yet another obfuscated email response. The New South Wales Environment Protection Authority is working with relevant state and federal agencies to ensure risks associated with the transport of dangerous goods are properly assessed and managed. Local federal member for Calpa, Pat Conahan, tells us the TF NSW has advised him the tunnels will be delegated and built to the highest safety standards, irrespective of what goods travel through them. Whether vehicles carrying dangerous goods will be permitted to go through the bypass tunnels in the future will be up to the New South Wales Environment Protection Agency. For me as a local federal member, I'm focused on ensuring maximum benefits flow from our government's investment of up to $1.46 billion for the bypass to local businesses and contractors and residents, gain jobs and improvements. But what often happens with these big jobs, they bring in their own people. Companies employ people from other parts of Australia. They move there, they make the good money for a period of time. They take a certain amount of savings home with them. So it doesn't necessarily benefit Coffs Harbour, does it? How do you keep local jobs to locals? I'm not sure. If I work up here in Townsville on a civil job that pays good money, that might be starting in the next couple of weeks. If I work on this job for, say, 2 or 3 months or 6 months, and save maybe $1,000 a week, take that $1,000 a week back to Brisbane or Sydney or Canberra. Anyway, I don't know how you enforce that and keep local jobs for locals. I think it's a bit unrealistic. Anyway, the EIS said many of the placarded loads are required to stop in Coffs Harbour, but Griffith refutes that claim, saying only a very small number of the long-haul trucks on the Pacific Highway with gas on board actually stop locally. That's what I was saying. He said information and advice provided by New South Wales Transport authorities by GEA members show that 95% of the roughly 4,400 LPG tanker movements along the Pacific Highway each year do not make deliveries into Coffs Harbour. GEA is concerned that the EIS has also not adequately assessed the volume and travel patterns of DG Transport or considered the risk to those using and living near roads. Said Griffiths, it declined access to the Coffs bypass tunnels, or if declined access to the Coffs bypass tunnels. Griffiths said the Pacific Highway 12 km of low-speed road, complete with 12 sets of traffic lights passing through the Coffs Harbour city centre, would add considerable cost and time to long-haul freight trips. New South Wales Minister for Regional Transport and Roads, Paul Toole, an unfortunate name, isn't it? Paul Toole did not respond to a Big Rigs request for comment In an earlier statement, he instead focused on the 2,000 local jobs the bypass will provide during construction. So that's a lie, that it's local jobs. And he's too much of a coward to have an import and try and get the dangerous goods trucks permission to go through the tunnel once it's built. Yep, New South Wales Minister for Transport. Useless.